Two more minutes. Welcome to all of you, though.
Hello, hello.
Good
Jennifer
morning.
Lamont, good morning.
Good morning. Rose, it's 6 a.m. where you are, isn't it?
It is, but
Oh, wow, good
we
for
have
you.
had some incredible storms, so our heater went out, so I had to come in and restart it.
Yeah, I've heard the weather's been horrible out there.
Oh my gosh.
You guys got some crazy flooding out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
I
All
can't
right,
stay
let's
for long. I have another meeting to jump to, but I did want to jump in, Bill.
great. So welcome everybody. This is our first meeting of the year, and Jennifer Lamont, our CEO for ASCA, is gonna give us her a welcome, and thank you for jumping online, Jennifer.
Absolutely. Happy Monday morning, everyone, especially those of you who are on the West Coast. Yeah, I just wanted to jump in and say hi. Thank you all for jumping on. I'm so excited about the direction of Swim America and all the exciting things that are happening and these meetings and you all getting on and sharing ideas. And I think Bill's going to talk to you a little bit in this meeting about our plans for World Clinic, which is getting really exciting too. We're incorporating Swim America into more and more things that we do. We're trying to incorporate into everything we do. So, again, thank you all. I'm looking at a bunch of names, but I know there's spaces behind those names. I get it. You don't want to turn your camera on at 6 a.m. That's fine. But if pros can do it. Yeah, so that's all. I just wanted to jump on. I have to jump off, unfortunately, to another meeting, but I wanted to wish you a happy Monday morning and hope you get to work with some really creative ideas.
Yeah, I did. I
Actually,
sent him
I'll
a
be
text.
following up with Bill tomorrow. We have a meeting.
He knows he has to be there. Always Sam, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
Nancy, just turn
Okay,
off
well,
your.
you might have been caught in something, but don't worry, you'll get there.
Who has the mute
All
button?
All right.
Nancy. All right, that's
okay.
great. Thanks so
All
much,
right.
Jennifer.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good meeting.
Okay,
Have a good
thanks a
week,
lot.
everyone.
Okay, great. So if there's any possible way that you could put your video on, that would be great. It makes it a little bit easier to communicate with everybody. So I just wanted to welcome everybody to the meeting today. And as I said, it's our first meeting of the year. So I'd like to start off. After a year and a half of doing this, I'm kind of excited about the direction, as Jennifer said, that Swim America is going. We are getting more support from ASCA. They're giving us more resources in a variety of ways. It kind of feels like we're in the fold a little bit more after a few years of kind of being on the outside of things. So my goal in the coming year is to really integrate Swim America into ASCA and making it as a value added element of the ASCA experience, because there are other programs out there that bring coaches together, and by having a swim instruction program that brings kids into people's swim teams, it's a unique thing that really people are just starting to recognize once again within the organization. So I'm excited about that. So we got a few things today. It's like last year we put together the World Clinic. Basically, that came together in July, I think it was, which was a little late for everybody to think about coming to the World Clinic. And this year we've put the World Clinic together a little bit more substantially at this point in the year. So we're going to be able to promote that more as the year goes on. So I'm gonna just share my screen. I sent this to all of you before, but I want to share the screen with this just to go over this. So in putting this together, I one of the things that people have said about the World Clinic is that should I go? You know, it's like one day of stuff, and what's the value of this to me as a swim instructor? So my goal with this was to put something together that there is something out there for everybody through the whole 3 days that we are there. So just to go through this, can everybody see that? Let me just see a thumbs up. Can you see what I'm sharing there? Okay, great. Okay, so we, you know, it's like selling Swim America to people. Like, you know, it's like getting people to buy into Swim America. Like, what's the value of it to me? And I really wanted to have somebody. I really wanted to have somebody that was involved, that really started the Swim America program, and it changed their whole experience as a swim coach. And Don Gibbs down in Orlando, Florida he's just one of those people. You know, there's so many of us out there, without a doubt, but Don Gibbs started a Swim America program within the past 10 years, and it's really changed his whole experience as a swim coach. It's given him more financial stability, and we're really excited about having him there. He's really excited about talking. The next thing is with Nancy and Andy Knowles out in Bermuda. I had a wonderful
Bahamas.
conversation with them about a month ago. Was that a month? Maybe that was 2 weeks. It feels so long.
Yeah,
But we had a great conversation, and you know, there are so many places within the United States, around the world, where swimming is not really part of the culture, but there is water all around within that area. And Andy and Nancy have not only, you know, without a doubt, they have a successful program, as many of you do, but what they're doing is they're changing the culture of the island that they're on down there, and it's making a difference in the way people perceive water. So they're gonna be on Saturday. They're gonna be at one of the really important programs on Saturday, and trying to make swimming, you know, because as we lose programs in colleges, and swimming becomes, you know, like a more of a third tier option for people competitively. These guys are really changing that and making it an important element of their nation. Nancy, do you want to talk to that just a little bit?
okay, I got it right.
We can hear you. No, you're good. No, turn it on. You're muted.
Okay.
Turn off. There you go.
There you go. Okay. Yeah, okay. It's in the Bahamas, and basically we're in our 16th year, and we're working with the government schools, which would be like the public schools, and we're working with the primary schools, and we're going to share how we had to have a strategy not to build. We don't build any pools. We use existing facilities, and we upgrade them if we need to, so that we can use the coach. We could coach in the facility, like the coaches could stand, and we bus the children to and from the facility from the school. And we try, the kids are not more than 15 minutes away from a pool. It's on New Providence, Nassau. That's where we're doing our emphasis. There's 24 schools there, and we're trying to emphasize that in Nassau, because most of the kids in the capital don't know how to swim. The islands are a little different. They do get much more exposure. So that's what we're trying. We're trying to get them to have 8 free swim lessons a year, and we do it in a row. We do 4 one week and 4 the next week. So that's kind of how we've been doing it. it's been trial and error from the day one. I think we've kind of got it down packed to the template on how to run it, and we just will add schools as we are able to get the staff. And the way we had a big breakthrough is we are able to get the staff by using our Defense Force Marines as part of their volunteer community service. So they are, they come and they work for us for basically free. They get a small stipend, and they have worked out since September. They have worked out like amazing. Our pass rate has just jumped through the roof. These were untrained coaches, but they picked it up, and because of their discipline of being on time and goal driven, that's already built into them. We don't even have to put that into them. And most of them are men, so the kids get to look up to them as role models and everything. And so that's been our biggest success recently. So that's just going to be what it's going to be about, is how we manage to utilize pools that are already there and busing children that would have never have a chance to learn how to swim ever, because it's just beyond their means of expense.
That is so good. We're really looking forward to that talk, Nancy. Excuse me. So that's great. Thank you so much. So then the next thing that we're going to have on Friday is going to be, we have, one of the things that's been really wonderful about being in this position is I get to talk to so many different people that have so many different iterations of how we present Swim America. The wonderful thing about this program is that we have the basic infrastructure, but really the way that you can fit it into a variety of different facilities, time allotments, working with different employee bases. It really just it gives us the chance to really create something within our own needs. So one of the things that I was thinking is that, some of our really more successful programs, to basically present a 4-hour program where we get to discuss 3 different programs that each present their Swim America lessons in a really, not necessarily a different way, but are structured and it's supported in a different way. So we're going to have Nancy is going to be there as a completely nonprofit supporting the schools. We're also going to have Jihan Minson's program, which is a mixture of the nonprofit helping schools, but also the profit, a for-profit bringing kids in onto their swim team, and then we're also going to have our Rose Chalwinski from Swim America Davis, who is completely for-profit and has her own facility. And we are going to talk about each one of those and discuss how those iterations work, and how we could benefit from the knowledge that they've gotten from their experience, and make this a really, how we can maybe incorporate some of those ideas into our own programs. Rose, do you want to talk to that just a little bit? Or at least just say hi?
Hi, I'm excited about presenting and hope to see all of you at the World Clinic.
That's great. Perfect advertisement. We hope you're doing it well out there, Rose, in California, because I know there's you guys got some challenges out there right now. Then the next thing that we're going to do is on Wednesday. Usually we have a Wednesday session that's paid. I'd like this to be a little bit different. I want to do a program director's training, but I would like by the time September comes around, we will have new videos. We'll have I'm going to upgrade the program director's training in a variety of ways. I'm working with Russell Mark to review this and to show an integration between Swim America and swim teams. So by September, I am going to be presenting a program that's going to be a bit different than many of you have experienced. So what I would like is I'd love this for any program director, any site supervisor, and any new any new person who's gonna sign up for the Swim America program so that they can experience this in person. And I'd really like to have just a group of people who have experience and those who don't have experience, to come together and listen to the new program and discuss what we do as a program. So I'm hoping that we can get like some really I'd love to have a bunch of people in that day-long program just to discuss the benefits of it. If they think it's good, how we can upgrade it even more. And you know, it's like I really want to try to make this on a constant upgrade, you know, and redoing this program so that it benefits everybody in the best way possible. And then finally, we have a 15-minute session in the Endless Pool for swim lessons to present to our, you know, to anybody who's in the World Clinic. For those of you who've been to World Clinic, the past few World Clinics have had an endless pool, and they've always been focused on stroke development, and basically how to help the kids on your swim team. But this is the first year where we're going to have an endless pool session directly focused on swim instruction and how to get your kids to that point. So I have 15 minutes. So if any of you have ideas about that, if any of you want to comment on that, if any of you want to be involved with that, I've talked to Don Gibbs a little bit about this, and he's interested in thinking about this with me. So any thoughts on that? Please, that would be great, because I'd really like to make this an experience that is valued by everybody there. All right.
Hey,
So
Bill,
I'm
I
gonna-
have a question about that. Sorry.
Yep.
What's your goal with that endless pool session? Is it just to promote Swim America, or is it like to give tips and tricks of like teaching?
Meg, that's a great question, and I think that by giving tips and tricks of teaching, we promote Swim America. You know what I mean? It's the
Yeah.
Swim America session. So if we have stuff that's valuable to coaches to get their kids feeling better in the water and working better in the water, then that's just a value for everybody. So yes to both of those questions. That's great. Okay, so I'm going to try to get rid of this.
And also just on the endless pool, I think that it's just another creative way to use a space to teach swim lessons. And so if we can see how somebody might use that pool and that configuration, it might open up a lot of possibilities for different swim schools to get one of those endless pools.
That's exactly right. You know, because a lot of the endless pools now. Okay, I'm going to try this. No, it's not. The endless pools are becoming a real element to people's options to get water. I mean, we have people that are using endless pools in a variety of different ways that are they're teaching lessons in them in small little rooms, you know. So the endless pool, you know, instead of having to build a huge facility, the endless pool is an option to offer lessons and do it in a cost-effective way. All right. So trying to get rid of the
Try to hit the escape button to find that stop share button.
Okay. Nothing.
Do you
All
have
right.
two?
So,
Can you roll your mouse up to the top of the screen, Bill? And then it might there's usually an option pops up there. It drops down usually from the top.
yes, and it's down.
Anything there, like saying stop sharing or anything?
Doesn't say stop sharing. I'm sorry about that. There it is. Great. Okay, very good. Sorry about that. Technical difficulty. All right. So with that being said, my goal is to get new videos into the program director section to help you all with training your kids, tips and tips that you could show to everybody that we could all use. Also within there, and we discussed this in the NAPA convention with our swim program directors who were there. I'm going to put the 10 stations and what it means to get out of a station, what we are looking for getting out of a station, because there is a little bit of there's discussion about, what should that look like. So I'm working with the program that I have, and I just started up last week, and I've already identified kids that I want to use to take really good, clear videos, even underwater videos of what we are looking for graduating into the next station. So within that program director's library, video library, I would like to have those 10 stations, and this is what you're looking for, and you can use those in training your instructors and show them that this is getting out of station 2. This is the floating glides as station 2 defines them. I will present those to you all by April, hopefully by March, and you can all comment on them and make sure that they're acceptable to you. I'm a stickler for this, so I think it'll be all right for you. So then, I would also like videos of what you do. I mean, many of you have videos out there. I am going to once again send a Dropbox to you to the Dropbox address, and let's just start sending me videos of what you got that you would like to share with people. All right, and I'll start looking through those. So does anybody have questions about that? Does anybody have comments on that? Does that sound good to everybody? Thumbs up? Good. Okay, great. So the video project. Now, to make this a worthwhile meeting for all of us. So this is our first meeting of the new year. I sent you all we're gonna have a meeting every month. And we're going to have 2 meetings in May. Like last year, we did 4 meetings in May. This year, I think because we're going to be doing more regular meetings, we'll only do 2 meetings in May, because that's a little bit more of a pressure time to get ready for our lessons. And it seemed like that was very helpful to people. So the beginning of the new year, I'd like to ask all of you, what worked for you? Like, what worked for you this past year? And what didn't, and what would you like to share with the rest of us, and going into our video library? What worked for you? Let's start off with that. And as you look back on this past year, as you did lessons, what did you look back on and think, wow, this really was great? You can just start talking. Anybody? Everybody had just a regular year?
I'll say
Yeah, Barb.
something.
Yeah.
I'll say that I think I did more training this last year in the summer session than I did in the spring session. And that seemed to really, really work. And I thought the instructors were more comfortable with what they were doing. I think though the negative part is that I'm still not getting them to understand that even though they do the skills the correct way, they are wanting to advance them way too soon. And they're not giving them those couple days in order to make sure they're doing it right before they want to move up. And I have a struggle trying to say, great, I'm glad they did that one day. I need you to keep working on that to make sure that they can continue doing that before we move them up and build upon that next stage. So
Yeah,
that's my
So-
pros and cons.
that sounds great. So you try to make sure that there's good practice for
Yeah.
for a few days before you move the kids up.
Yes,
That's great. That sounds
Yeah,
awesome.
I try.
That sounds awesome. Great. Thank you
Because
so much.
it has backfired on me because then they start going into level 5 or level 4 when they're should be kicking perfectly well, and all of a sudden when they're doing that side breath, they can't breathe because they're sinking because they're not kicking hard enough. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's always a challenge putting all the skills together. They can do the skills individually, but man, when they put the skills together, sometimes that you do need that extra practice. That's great.
Absolutely.
Rose, thank you.
We
Rose?
kind of set a standard. They have to pass that skill twice. Because one time it might be accidental. And
Mm.
so we want to see consistency. And so that by saying 2, it not only helps the child understand that they have to see it again, but also the coach, because the coach is working almost as hard as the child to get that advancement. And so we put it at 2. So everyone knows the head coach has to see it the first time and then they pass it the second time.
yeah, I try to always like mark their sheet for
Yep.
the next day saying, okay, you did a great job this day. I'm going to mark you. I'm going to watch you again. But sometimes like our spring session's only on Saturdays.
Yeah.
So it's that whole week, just they lose a little bit of it. So it's like, oh, that was pretty good
Yeah.
the
yeah.
second time. So yeah.
In our program, we
I-
call it the moment of genius. They have an instance of genius, and then it all falls apart.
It's
Okay,
a
is
bit like
anybody
when you
else?
go.
Yep.
It's a bit like when you go to the doctors and you know, like you've got a cough, and you go to the doctors and you can't replicate the cough. And I used to have that a lot with my coaches. Look, come over and look at little Jimmy in lane 3 or something. And look what he's just done. And then he can't do it again. And I'm all there ready with my cowbell to ring it. And it's like, well, maybe we'll just wait till we see it again.
Yeah.
There can be fleeting bits of genius, as you say. But
Yeah.
then you're right. I mean, but I think the thing I found with Swim America is it's the consolidation. So you're never going to just see it once because you're always going to keep consolidating as you move through the program. But
Yeah.
I think the key thing is, catch them doing it right most of the time as opposed to just once, I think.
Yeah. And then we go back to that whole sandwich method thing. It's like I love when the kids do great, just to say to them, come on, you just did a great job, I mean, so many kids don't hear that stuff, and it's like we really want to promote that. So what else? That's great. Such good stuff. Anybody else? Meg, you look like you got something there.
So this year was a interesting year for us. It's the first time we were back at our pre-COVID pool. So one thing that we did that I was very insistent on, is that we did not increase our numbers until I knew our staff was ready. And so like I was holding back registrations. I was telling just until I knew my staff could handle the bigger classes and also that they could handle the smaller classes the way I wanted. And it's a double-edged sword because as soon as they're ready, like coaches leave or something like that. But ultimately, I think that helped us out a lot. And this time around, we have a lot more dedicated staff. And then the other thing that I think didn't necessarily work for us was, and I'm drawing a mind blank. We need to work on, making me not the only like head person in the company, so like not everything goes through me. So we brought on a GM to like manage the staff so I can focus on like our training process and like work with that and everything.
That's great. Support is when everything lays on your head, that's difficult. That is really difficult. So congratulations.
Yeah.
It's amazing that we're still talking about post-COVID, and it's and the effect that COVID had on us. But we a lot of us are still coming out of that, which I'm gonna jump in here and I'm gonna say that one of the things that we had that was really difficult was registration. It's like I run my program out of out of a college, and they have been very resistant to doing anything online, or it's been a little bit archaic. So we started with the Captain program, and this is not an advertisement for them, but we started working with Captain, and in our first set of lessons, starting this year, after adding that the Captain system last year, we have like literally exponential growth just because of the ease of being able to get lessons now, instead of having to come into the facility and fill out the forms. And I mean, it's just, and I know that I'm a little bit of a dinosaur, and it's like some of you are saying, why haven't you done this? but that has really changed everything for us, and it's very, very exciting. For me, it's really exciting. So I'm looking forward to the next year. So is anybody else? Okay, what worked for you and what didn't? What do you look back on the past year, and what are you happy with, and what could be better? Anybody? You all had perfect years.
I can share just, but I'm going to share it at the clinic too, but getting the Defense Force people, Marines, to help us, that quality of staff has freed up the stress of running our program. I mean, immensely. And just having that discipline in them is just made such a difference. And then they all were so eager to even get qualified. They all we paid for them all to get their coaches certificates, and they did it online. And so that all of that stuff was that was a big thing for us this year. I don't think we would have been able to expand if we hadn't tapped into that group of people, because like I said, ours is entirely volunteer, and it is really hard to get people committed to say, like, I'm not coming today, no excuse. What do you do with the 30 kids that you're supposed to have in the pool, and all that. So that's been a big success for us. And that's what I said.
That's great. That's great. We look forward to hearing more about that, Nancy. That's wonderful. Yeah, getting people, especially running a volunteer program, is it is. I find that like I will do a volunteer program to teach adults with my master's program, with my master's swimmers, helping out with that. And I find that I don't know who enjoys teaching or getting those lessons, if it's the instructors or the participants that get more value from that. And in that, it's like you get that sense of satisfaction and connection, and that's really the pay that these guys get. Sometimes it's hard to get to that point. It's hard to get to that point. So that's great. Does anybody else have anything they can share about that past year? Nothing. Everything was good. Just lessons were great.
I would say, Bill, for my program, one of the biggest impacts has been because we're an outdoor pool, and the weather has been a significant factor. So we've had our classes usually run between 45 minutes to 50, and we've had many instances where a lot of kids have not been able to even reach half an hour just because of the temperature of the pool. I would say between the months of October to even up to end of January gone has been quite bad for us in terms of not necessarily participation, but the kids lasting and being able for us to be able to cover things. So we've done a lot of out of the water things to try and compensate. But of course, especially when you get into the further stations you go, you need to have that water time. So that has been kind of a challenge. The weather has been really bad on us in terms of the temperature of the pool.
Because it's
So
been,
we just have to adjust.
David, could you just tell us where you are, and what has it been colder or hotter? What's the problem been?
So I'm in Jamaica, and the issue has been more so that the weather hasn't been colder per se. It's been the usual temperatures, but the pool temperature, so the water temperature of the pools I've noticed has gotten significantly colder compared to previous years.
Interesting.
So that has been very much an obstacle. There have been like points where outside of whether we're a hurricane season, so we've had to do some cancellations related to that, but that's something that at least we prepare for. But it's definitely the temperature of the water, especially this last couple of months, has been something that we have noticed that the kids are not being as effective, or especially the younger ones. Naturally, when the pool is really cold, they're like, we're very hesitant in continuing the activities, even when we try and warm them up as best as possible, like consistent towel breaks once they're out of the pool.
Yeah. Sue Swerchel just put in, have you thought about wetsuits with the kids? And that's, you know, I'm up in Western Massachusetts, and so our water is 82 degrees, but you know, when the kids come in and it's 20 degrees outside, it's tough to get them excited to jump into the water. So I have a lot of kids that actually wear wetsuits. They wear at least shorties, you know, so that it keeps their cores warm. We actually have a few wetsuits that we let the kids use if they're too cold. So that's something to think about. And I see some of you guys are putting it in there. I find that, you know, it's like you can go to like just to chime in on that. You know, just going into Swim Outlet, you know, Swim Outlet has great stuff. You can also get stuff on Wetsuit Warehouse. And then, you know, even just going to Amazon, you know, you can get a relatively functional wetsuit for swimming for kids under $50, you know, for the younger kids. So that's, you know, you could potentially add that to the cost of your lessons, you know, if you wanted to give specific wetsuits to the kids. But yeah, you know, we all have these challenges, you know, I've talked to people who've lost their water, people who have a variety of different challenges, and that's why it's great for us all to get together with this. But it seems like, David, you're getting a lot of recommendations for wetsuits.
Yes, I really appreciate it.
Yeah. So that's great. And Swim America does have a store on Swim Outlet. I should have promoted that. Sorry about that. So that's great. So I hope that's helpful to you, David. You know, you know, in the cold water, it sounds like getting the kids onto the deck too, getting them warmed up on the deck it can be very helpful initially. Like get them warmed up on the deck, then get them into the water. So that's another possibility. So does anybody else have? Okay, so we're still talking about so what worked for you? What was a challenge? Anybody else? Yeah, Barb.
I have one more thing. So before we moved here, which was like a year and a half ago, they had a different type of swim lesson, and it was always one-on-one. So a lot of the instructors that are still there only can feel like they can really work with one kid, even though I've taught them how to have them go back and forth, have them kick together, kick back. Does anybody have any ideas that I can share with them to get them to feel more reassured that it is okay for them to have them kick out to you, go back, have the next person kick out? What are your little things that can help me to teach them how to do that better? Because I've shown them in the water. I even used my little kids from my novice group, my 8 and unders, to be examples. Anybody use some type of wording or something that can help me with that?
So for our older levels, for 4 and up, we expect the coaches to use circle swimming from 15 yards. So like have one swimmer come out and the other swimmer go back in. And then for our younger levels, what we tell them for 2 and 3 more specifically, we say 5 seconds with one student, put them back on the wall. And like if I'm not seeing it, they know I'll come over and be like, I'll run the lesson a little bit for them on deck. And then I'm like, that's what I want you to do. And then like my expectation is that they start doing that again. I don't know if that helps you.
I use numbers and colored kickboards. And again, it's just classroom management, I think, isn't it? Once they get comfortable with it, it's okay. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. What's your number? And then you sometimes, I like to do it silently, where then I try to get the kids to own it. And I might even put one place where, you know, like if you're doing normal lane swimming, say development squad, it might go 5 meters, get to the flags, and the next person knows they have to go. You tie a noodle to something or have a toy, and when they get to the Pokemon or something, then the next ones can go. Because I think we're just going to end up losing our voices trying to control them. So I think it's good if they can kind of help to, you know, self-management skills for the kids as well. And I think that can make a lot of difference to your coaches, and they're not having to do all the, you know, sheepdog mustering, you know, whatever. I think giving them opportunities to let the kids know when to go. But if they've got prompts, numbers, or different color kickboards, that works for me.
Sounds great. That's great. Anybody else? Rose?
I was just gonna say, Bill, this might be a really good topic for one of the program director future meetings, just on class management. And maybe you can use the group function in Zoom to break us out into groups that might be, you know, pools that we have that size, so that we
Yeah.
can be in a room to, you know, if I have a huge 25-yard pool, that's going to be really different than if I'm teaching lessons in a endless pool, you know, so it'd be good to put us all in groups.
Yeah, that's a great idea, Rose. That's great because, you know, I'm Barb, and you know, this also, you know, I'm sorry if I didn't do this, but could we do this quickly? Like, could you just say your name and where you're located and what size pool you use? Okay, can we just do that quickly so that we know where each of us are? Okay, so my name is Bill Meyer. I'm in Western Massachusetts, and I have a 25-yard 8-lane pool.
I'll go. My name is Rose. I'm in Davis, California. I have an indoor 17-yard by 20-foot teaching pool, 90 degrees.
I'm Nancy Knowles. I'm in the Bahamas. We run 2 sites, 2 25-meter, 1 25-meter, 1 25-yard outdoor pool, all shallow enough to coaches stand in.
Nice.
I'm Adrian. Oh, sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
I'm Adrian Illingworth. I'm based in Lisbon, Portugal. We use a municipal pool, and on some days we have a 12.5-meter learner pool, which is about 90 centimeters deep. Forgotten what that is in inches. And we also have access to a 25-meter competitive pool, just 1 lane. So we just been very lucky to get a lane per day.
Yeah. Steve Fanning?
Yes, my name's Steve Fanning. I'm in Vero Beach, Florida. The pool is being removed and replaced. We're putting in a Murtha pool. It's a 10-lane, 25-yard pool by 8-lane, 25 meters by 2-lane, 33 meters. In that added connecting water, we have a 20-yard teaching pool, a 2-lane, 20-yard teaching pool at 3.5 feet all the way up and down. Access to that pool is for lessons in physical therapy, is steps into the water. So that's, we can set kids on the steps, and then the adults that want to come in for any physical therapy, they can go up and down the steps, you know, typical pool steps. So
That's awesome.
it's
That's
gonna be a
great. Thank
beautiful
you.
facility when it's finished. It's just 4 years.
It's on its way. Barb, what about you?
I am Barb Cunningham. I'm in Columbus, Indiana. I have a 25-yard 8-lane pool. We use platforms, and the pool is only 80 degrees.
You and I live the same life. Peggy, how about you?
Okay, I'm in Florida, and usually for 24.5 years, we were teaching at a teaching pool, but right now the entire complex is being renovated. But I'll give you those measurements because right now it's really challenging in a tiny, very old pool. But usually we have a purely teaching pool, which is 23 yards long and has about 4 lanes. It's 3.5 feet deep, and we are used to 88 degrees, which is really nice. And right now in this other pool, it's very challenging because it's like 84, and I don't know how you teach an 82 or 80, because in 84 we're cancer class. We're so spoiled. Yeah, I think that's all we say. And then we have use of a 25-yard pool for preteen for the 9 and
Great.
10 levels.
Great.
So usually it's
Thank you
pretty
very much.
perfect. Right now, not so much.
Yeah. Meg, how about you?
So I'm in Washington, DC. We rent a 6-lane, 25-meter pool, indoor pool, and then it also has a little section that is a deep end that's 12 foot. In the 6-lane area, it's all standable, and then yeah, it's 85 degrees, which is nice.
That is nice. I might turn up the temperature of my pool today.
Highly recommend
Janice,
it.
how about you?
We are in Madison, Wisconsin, and we teach out of a small, very warm water lesson pool within a hospital setting. They've got like a sports performance area. We've only got access to that pool about 3 hours a week. And we are still under COVID like restrictions with how many kids we can put in the pool. But on the positive side, we are moving. We're in the process of constructing our own aquatic facility. And I mean, the walls and the roof are going on where they're doing construction during winter here. And we hope to be in by this summer. We've got a 10-lane competition pool, and then we've got a 4-lane, 25-yard warm water pool that we're going to have for lessons. So, and I just want to add in with your comment about like what we've been doing last year and, for this year, we're super excited because this Sunday kicks off our first official Swim America lesson program. We've been working since we joined the program to train all of our instructors over from our former program into Swim America. Our instructors are so excited to use the Swim America program. We have transitioned all our kids. We took them from our old level to, kind of migrating them into the Swim America levels. So everything kicks off this Sunday.
Well, I thank you for being a perfect advertisement for Swim America. but welcome, and I'm so excited for you. It is really exciting when that starts working. That's great. So welcome to the fold. And
Thank
Anna,
you.
how about you?
Excited.
Anna Matthews, you've been clicking in there every once in a while. Are you there? Good. We'll go to George Blasini.
Jorge.
Sorry.
Yeah. I'm in Mount Carmel, Tennessee, which is Northeast Tennessee. And I've been running a Swim America program here since 2006. And I was actually one of the original 400 programs back in, I forgot when I started. But anyway, yeah, we've been in a situation last year was kind of tough because we had a renovation at the high school pool on Baystat, and we finally got in this past week. It's back online, and we have our program going back, and we're looking forward to moving forward. It's a 6-lane indoor 25-meter, shallow to 3 feet to 5 feet, and then with the L for diving. So we're able to offer all 10 levels, within a half-hour programming setup. And
Great.
It's twice a week, 8 sessions.
Nice. Well, great. It's so great to have our founding members still involved with Swim America. I'm there with you. That's great. And Gwen, how about you?
In the winter, we're in a 6-lane, 25-meter pool. We usually only get about 4 lanes. Sometimes we can sneak a 5th lane. We have to keep 1 or 2 lanes open for lap swimmers.
Great. Sue, are you can you share with us? Amanda, how about you? Moritz? All right. Okay.
Sue shared on the chat.
Oh, okay. All right. That's great. Great. And
I can go as
Amanda,
well.
how about, and David,
Yeah.
you've already shared that stuff with us, but you want to give it to us once again?
Right. So I'm David from Jamaica. We operate in a public 8-lane, 25-meter pool.
Yep.
We get usually, depends on the hour that because we operate 3 hours, we can get 3 to 4 lanes across. But in terms of standing, it's the shallow end is around 4.5 feet at the shallow, but then it goes quickly downwards once you reach 5 meters. In terms of our pool. So the kids can't necessarily, unless they're really tall, they can't necessarily stand in the water.
Great. That's awesome. So I just wanted to say one thing quickly to Barb about, you know, dealing with, also there's the salmon run when you're having the kids just practicing. So, you know, it's like, just have the kids, if you have like 5 kids on your platform, just don't let your instructor focus on the individual kids. Have them working with that group. Number 1 go, number 2 go, number 3 go, and have them all so that they can watch each child go individually, but everybody gets over to the wall, and then you can talk about, you know, what can be perfected a little bit more. All right. So we have about another few minutes here, but I'd like to,
can I just share, Amanda can't get her microphone to work, but she works with me in the Bahamas as one of my site supervisors.
Oh, okay, great. Well, and Amanda, we've met before, so that's
Yeah.
great. That's great. And welcome. So here we are in the beginning of February. A lot of us are starting our swim lessons just up. What are the new, do you have new ideas for this year? Are you going into this year thinking you're going to do something different? Are you going to try to attempt looking at this in a different way? Are you going to do something small? Are you going to do something big? Let's leave this on a where we're really thinking about, you know, the future here. So what does anybody have something new for me it's without a doubt, it's having the new registration system, which has really pumped a lot of excitement into my program. So what else are you guys doing programmatically with your instructors, training, new facility? What is anybody else doing anything for 2024?
Well, I like to say here. So what I took a few things. I haven't started yet this year because the heater in that second pool we're working at this time is broken. But I picked up a few things from prior meetings that I really like that I'm going to put some emphasis on. One is coaching retention. So having a set pay structure. I don't know who talked about that, but some director mentioned that they have a pay structure so the coaches know what to expect and how that works. So establishing that. And then also putting more emphasis on the training of the coaches. I think that'll be good. And then one other idea, when we were at our normal pool, the numbers were really, really high where it became almost unmanageable. And then somebody suggested that they had done in the past when it became too big, just raising the prices so that drops a little bit in attendance, because I usually have to turn people down, and the pool is so crowded sometimes that lessons are not really so effective. So those were some great ideas I got from the meetings, from prior meetings. And then also I switched to captain in August, and it's just been amazing. Just the ease right now with the heater problems, we have to cancel classes, the ease of canceling lessons, or even we were in the water and then it got really cold. So at 5 o'clock, you can let the 6 o'clock class now, we're going to cancel because it's getting too cold outside. And it's just amazing. It's an amazing program to work with.
That's great. I'm gonna let these guys see this meeting, you know, from captain, because it is good. And I just wanted to say that, pointed out that David put in the chat that he's having his kids teach their parents. Now that's a wonderful idea. I love that. In fact, David, I think I'm going to do that with my program. That is a wonderful idea. How many times do we get parents that say to us, "Oh, can you teach? Do you guys do adult swim lessons too? It's like, can you teach me also?" So it's so that's a wonderful way to me. It's like any way that you can build community. I just think it's really important for your program to show that everybody is helping each other out. So does anybody else have, as we're going forward, what new ideas do you have? What are you excited about? Yep. Oh, we can't hear you.
That was
There
the
you go.
best bit. That I was muted on the best bit.
Oh my God.
I hope the kids get a commission on their classes that they're teaching their parents. So I learned this from another program that I go to. Sometimes I go to different talks, but it's this introduce, develop, and master. So, we can't guarantee that we're going to have swimmers of all the same levels. They're going to vary in different elements. So I'm now trying to almost test kids by seeing if they can do, say, the level ahead, just to see. So it helps me for grouping them. So I'm introducing new skills that might be coming a little bit later. And then it gives me the opportunity to work on some things that I know will need correcting in the future. So although whether I'm working in the same stations, it gives me an opportunity to see how I can plan ahead. If I need to maybe recommend that somebody needs to move a class early to free up some space. But I really like rather than, just introducing something as soon as they go into a new station, they've already had a taste of it.
That's great. Once again, that goes to that whole flexibility thing. And we have the infrastructure, but it's like you guys are all so creative in the way you're presenting this to your communities. It's just to me, it's just fascinating and wonderful. Good. Does anybody else have anything else they'd like to share? Are we sticking with the status quo? Or are we gonna upgrade this in some way?
Hi guys, I'm sorry about earlier. I'm just in between classes. I also teach here in Athens, Clarke County. Happy New Year. One of the challenges that we faced is when we first started the program in 2021, we're supposed to be the only one in our pool in our facility. But now we have 2 swim schools that also rent there. So of course, in the beginning, we freak out a little bit, but the way Coach Harvey, our head coach, and I saw the opportunities, they're mostly based private and semi-private lessons, and our program is more group focused. We do offer some privates, but the group setting really has made us successful. So a lot of the private kids look at our class and how great they are and how kids are progressing, and they'll say, "I want to be in your class." And I had to build camaraderie with the other 2 girls that rent the program, the pool program. And in spite all the challenges, we've been able to support each other. It gets crowded some days, but we've been doing great. Our pool is heated. We're very fortunate, and we get to provide group lessons too for the school at work and offer them scholarships. So we're super happy about that. And I didn't want to be rude, but I wrote my answer there on the chat. I just stepped out because I had a little break.
That's okay. No worries.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. I love, to me, the group lessons, private groups, they both have their benefits, and it's wonderful. I've had that experience too, where there's other programs, and the basic, I think the basic way that we should look at other programs is everybody is teaching kids how to be safe around the water. That's the bottom line. And they might not be doing it as well as we, they might be doing it as good as we are doing it. But, the goal is to get everybody as like Nancy Knowles is doing, getting everybody into the water and changing the culture so that the water is the place to be. So that's great. Now, just, it's like we've had a bunch of people jump on this line, and I have a sense that maybe there's a little bit of confusion about what time we are doing these programs. Like every time that I gave you is all Eastern Standard Time. Okay, please look at the list, and I have tried to change change it up. There's some afternoon times, there's some midday times, because I know that some people have trouble with any given time. So so please, if you're just hopping on because you thought it's 9 o'clock Central, everything is always Eastern time. That being said, I don't want these meetings to go over an hour. I know your time is very valuable. So so does anybody else have one final quick thing to say about this is going to be great this year? What do you think? Okay, with that lack of comment, I'm going to say it is I, as the director of this whole thing, I want to say just how thankful I am that that all of you are doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. My phone number and my address are immediately available. If you ever have any concerns or need any help, I can either give that to you or get you to the right person to help you. My goal for this year is to raise the level of this program to a national prominence, to an international prominence. That we're doing this. We're trying to help everybody learn how to swim better. Okay. So with that being said, thank you very much. I appreciate all the work you do, and I will see you next month, I hope. Have a great day.
Thank you.
All right.